little bit in your session about where you started with no technology to where you are now. Can you reiterate that just quickly with where you were and where you are now and where you're going?
Okay. 3 years ago, the process was very time-consuming and very convoluted because not having a tool, we had to make our own tools. And we had to use what resources we had, which were Scantron forms, Excel spreadsheets. So we built the benchmarks in pretty much the same way, item by item, and then used the Scantron form to scan the results from the students' responses. And then we had to disaggregate the data based on performance levels, meets, exceeds, does not meet, and then disaggregate by classroom performance so the teachers would have their responses. So hours and hours of counting and classifying and then putting all that data in a spreadsheet so that it would have some meaning for our classroom teachers and for our principals. So it was very time consuming, hours and hours, but of course worth it. And we knew that the end result would be worth it. It was just, we were looking for an easier way to get to the results.
And so was it 3 school years ago you began to use DataDirector?
This is our 3rd year with DataDirector.
And so when you, after a benchmark now, how long does it take you to disaggregate your data and begin to make change?
10 minutes. Literally, because as soon as the tests are through, the bubble sheets are turned into the coaches. They go immediately and scan those. At that point in time, the data is in DataDirector, so the teachers can begin disaggregating at their classroom level. That afternoon or the next afternoon, the principals bring all the faculty together and they share in benchmark results as a whole group. They look at it department by department, they look at it grade level by grade level, and they look at it teacher by teacher. So it's instantaneous. As soon as the scanner is done, the results are there. So it's just a matter then of logging in and beginning the process. So it's immediate.
And I know you've gotten a lot out of today as well as contributed to today. What do you see as your next steps in growing into this solution?
Our next steps are going to be centered around building better quality benchmark assessments. We've been doing pretty good job, but we have a lot of room for improvement. And the conversations we had this morning about quality items and how you group those and how you build on cognitive difficulty from the beginning of the assessment to the end, and the impact that the format lots of little things that we had not really given any attention to. So that's where our focus will be now, is how to build a better mousetrap and not so much how do we disaggregate the data, because I think we're pretty good in that department now with the use of DataDirector, but now we're going to look toward how our assessments will improve.